As you know, or maybe some of you don't know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And I'm a huge advocate for people that know me. It's very dear to my heart due to many life experiences that I have had in my life. Um, and not only that, but I have struggled almost all my life with anxiety, uh, depression, situational, but either way, anxiety can come out in anybody, uh, and it can escalate into a chemical imbalance. Doesn't have to. That's what people think. There is this conversation I've had with a friend for some time now about a child that is going through some pretty severe anxiety causing, panic attacks. I know all too well what that feels like. Take it for what it's worth. I just want to tell parents going to be around this child that is coming to you anxious and having or about to have a panic attack. And they seem like a worrywart. And you clearly can see on their face that nothing is going to happen to them. But inside of their little heads, you have no idea the tornado of thoughts that are going on in that poor person's head. And so the worst thing you can possibly do is try to relate and understand where they're coming from by saying things like, just take a deep breath, just calm down, everything's going to be okay. That's clearly what everybody would think, what you would say to somebody that's in distress. But to the anxious mind, they already know now that you don't know anything about what they're feeling. And now they're more anxious. And now they're afraid they're going to have a panic attack because the person that is in front of them that they're talking to has no idea how to help them. And then they're going to panic even more because they're going to panic about going into a panic attack and you not knowing what to do. And then they're going to think they're going to die. Or, it can get that bad. Okay. I will tell you a very personal experience that I had. I had a panic attack so bad. I didn't leave the house. I didn't leave my bedroom except to go pee for about 6-7 days. I was scared. I just didn't want to leave my room because if I did, my mind was going to go and then I couldn't go back. I couldn't go back to that calm state that I was just in for days on end or whatever. That was the absolute most crippling time in my life. I will never forget what I felt like when that happened. Get them help. I don't mean put them on meds. And I will tell you this, I am not against medicine. I'm on it myself. Everybody knows, exercise, eat healthy, okay? Easier said than done, okay? For anybody, all right? But if you look up some studies, going outside and submerging yourself in the outdoors, whatever you do, is a mindful experience. That's one of the things that anxious people do not know how to do. It is super hard for them, is to be in the moment. And I think when you are at a still place, I know some people that are very in touch with the outdoors and they have helped themselves. So if you can redirect their attention, but make sure that they don't see you doing it as a tactic, because people that are anxious, they are very aware of their surroundings. They are very aware of people's words, their body mechanics, everything. So you want to have the skills and the plan and the order of which you want to do things to help your child. Let me just say, in a world today, in a society today, what parent isn't anxious about the frickin' world and the creatures that are walking around in this world, okay? We are putting that on our kids at, again, no fault of our own. This world is I want people to know it can affect anybody. Anxiety can affect anybody. It's like stress. It can affect anybody. Um, Not everybody that has anxiety has a mental illness, okay? But we all can get a little off balance with our chemicals, with stress and with anxiety. And once that happens, we feel odd. And so, due to the stigma, um, we like either hush hush about it, or we lie and we just deal with our own demons. And I can go on and on, but I won't. Okay, therapy is a wonderful thing, though. I will say there is something magical about talking to somebody that does not know you at all. And people, it is not like you see in the movies where they sit on the couch and they're looking at you like this and they're judging you and they're sitting there and they're saying, "Do you have any back in the day?" And it's not like that. It's not like that at all. Okay? I know a person very close to me that stigmatized that had a stigma for psychiatrists and psychologists, that they are crazy themselves and they're not going to label me crazy. And lo and behold, after so many years, this person chose to seek it out and like the experience and got help from it too. So, and that was the type of person that just saw black and white. That's it. There was no gray at all. Okay. So that's pretty something special. So but if you are a parent that has a child with anxiety, the worst thing also, besides relating to them, like, is not getting them help and not being there physically and emotionally. If you're checked out or if you're too busy for them, that's your child. You're going to have to make something work regardless. And it doesn't always have to take money. Like, it doesn't, you don't always have to pay. People think, well, I can't take time off work, or I can't, you know what? There is so much more you can do. You have no idea. So you do your research. I think parents need to do their research. If you go to therapy and you're going to get your kid therapy, I understand. I get it. Like, we all can't be in therapy. It's, first of all, the expense, and, I get it. But the parents also should be doing their homework in knowing how to work around their child with anxiety, even if you're not in the session with them, if they choose to go to therapy. But I will tell you this: if you have a child that is in therapy and the psychologist or the counselor or the therapist is not giving you a recap, and it doesn't have to, it could be vague, because they want to have that bond with the child, something that is just for them too. And yes, you are the parent, but you should be getting a recap of the session. I have heard parents say, no, they don't come out. I'd be out of there, because I need to know, hey, how did my child respond? That's all I want to know. Okay? Because I will tell you this though, people, if you have a kid that you have to take to therapy, because that's your choice. You need to do it. If you think that the kid is going to be in the car and enjoy the ride there because they're going to therapy, that will never happen. Well, it might when they're older, but that will never happen. They will hate it all the way up until they get there, And then they'll have a little bit of time where after the session, yeah, it was all right. But then they'll hate it again the next time they have to go. Just know that. Just know that. And that is all normal. But if you have your child in therapy and you see them not getting a little bit better, and I don't even want to say better, I want to say using what they're learning in therapy, like finding out what is actually helping them. If you can't see something that is actually decreasing a little bit of their anxiety after they've been in these sessions with these therapists, then what in the hell are you doing? Then what is it helping? Why waste time? You know what I mean? And I'm not saying jump at the chance after a couple sessions, but if what are we waiting for? Just remember that these people that are anxious, kids or adults, they are afraid of obviously what's going to happen at that moment, whatever they're doing, but they are scared they are going to have a panic attack if their anxiety gets out of control. So if you tell them to calm down, it doesn't work that way. No, I mean, it's just like saying to somebody, oh, you have to eat healthier to lose weight. Oh, shit. Okay. So even if they're 8 or 9, they're thinking probably no shit. But you know what I mean? So all I'm saying is just listen, if anything. And if you can find those special individuals out there, because they do exist, there are some people that just have a way. They just have a way. And they have a way of redirecting their attention without making it look like they're redirecting their attention. And if you show that to the anxious kid and they know, they can't tell you're doing it, you have got them right where they want you. They now are in tune with you, and you actually can help them. There are some individuals, a few that I know, that just have a way about them, that they can just start a conversation, and these kids immediately, you will see them just decompress a little bit and get just a little bit more comfortable in that situation and with themselves. It is pretty amazing. So if you know anybody like that, hey, keep them around them, and maybe they can learn a few things from them, because those kind of people, like I said, are special people, and they can go ahead and be in the moment. And that is what anxious people need, is to be in the moment. Other things to do, like there's a study about being out in nature, being outdoors, what it does to the parasympathetic system, like that fight or flight, what it literally like does in the matter of seconds, is pretty freaking amazing. And I personally think they should be teaching how to deal with mental illness. I feel like they need to put a class in there about how to deal with stress, what happens to the chemicals when we are stressed, how we can get an imbalance from being stressed out, and how we can get anxiety and we are not having a mental illness at that moment. It can happen to anybody. So for what it's worth, if you have a child, or if you know one, or if you know a family that is dealing with one, tell them just to listen if they try to relate too much. And if they want to help, like any parent would, of course, online, if there's a lot of books, but get a book that makes them busy. Get a book that makes their mind busy. Not an app, a book. A workbook, something that can literally focus their attention on something, and they're doing something with their hands, they're doing something, with their mind. Make sure there's a lot of things going on at one time so their mind can stay off of it. But I'm just saying, if you're somebody try not to relate too much. It makes them more scared. And don't think for a second that this too shall pass, because more than likely it might become a part of them and it might linger on for a long time. Actually, studies have shown, and this is under PubMed is where I go for everything, and it is the National Library of Science, or National Library of Medicine. Um, this is where all the studies and the articles and the sightings come. It is not a quick fix. It is something that can happen to anybody. So just keep that in mind. And that's all I really wanted to say. And what not a better time than May. So now you know May is Mental Health Awareness Month. But anyway, so I hope this helps somebody out there anyway.